It's a major change.
It's drastic.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 worst America's Next Top Model makeovers.
Gotta spike it up in the middle right here.
I hate this boy here. Nervous, Brenda?
I am. I saw Norelle crying, I saw Jennifer crying, I saw Yaya crying, and it's just hair.
For this list, we'll be looking at the most confusing, disastrous, and/or sad-making tie-overs from the hit reality television competition. Let us know who you think slipped under the radar in the comments below. Number 20, Ivanas Chop. From a bright, charismatic personality to the glums, this model's haircut shifted her energy for the worse. In the 24th season of ANTM, Ivana Thomas's personality was defined by her independence and intellect.
You cannot cry. No, I'm not sad. I'm just thinking about how it took me a lot to wear my natural hair and stuff like that.
When it was time for makeovers, Tyra decided a short look would be best for Ivana. Sitting in the stylist chair, she was unable to hold back the tears, bracing herself for the change.
If I'm gonna have this hair, I have to learn how to be beautiful in a non-conventional way.
Unable to own it, it cost her her place in the competition. Panelist Drew Elliott told her after the elimination that embracing full confidence in herself was the best way for her to up her modeling game.
Even your energy now, it just feels like you're a little deflated.
All right.
Number 19, Alina's Big Red Weave.
So scared.
You know it's a little bit worrying when Jay Manuel's comforting you by letting you know that your natural hair is still accessible. Under the new weave, that is.
The great thing is, underneath all this, it's there. You just don't want to let it go.
Starting the show with lustrous dark locks, Cycle 11's Elena Ivanova was not happy about her makeover.
Oh my god.
She hated the thought of losing control and felt like the red curls as prescribed by Tyra didn't represent her in the way she wanted. While it didn't hold her back from placing 5th in the competition, you gotta wonder what Tyra was thinking.
I'm not angry that I have this look, it's just I don't look like myself anymore, and letting go of that is really hard.
With such a beautiful, versatile model, they could have gone anywhere, and they went to the circus. Number 18, Karis Ice Blonde Weave. In Cycle 21, Kari Calhoun was a gorgeous brunette who arguably didn't need a big change. But when Tyra gets excited, there's no pulling back. She prescribed a starkly blonde weave and bleached eyebrows, aka a lot.
When they're transforming Kari, kind of reminds me of like Children of the Corn or something.
As one of her fellow contestants remarked, it was like she was a totally different person, and Kari herself thought she looked cheap. Her tears told us that something more fundamental was affected.
You can't deal? You don't like it?
I'm trying.
We're in a business where these things do happen.
Who wouldn't feel lost when their visual identity changes that much? Kari managed to put on her poker face and gave a fierce photo shoot. While we all know this is an expected part of the show, this just didn't feel okay, making it one of the most uncomfortable makeovers yet.
Emotionally, just in the dumps.
Kari struggles with her new look. She feels she looks like a stripper. She does. But that's okay, I love strippers.
Number 17, Stacy Ann's Feathered Fauxhawk. Stacy Ann Fequieri bounced into Cycle 10, lighting up the judges with effortless positivity. When it came time for her makeover, Tyra dropped the news in a condescending high voice, mocking Stacy Ann's natural octave, which in and of itself was already awful.
Stacy Ann has the most beautiful bone structure, Tyra. She doesn't need any hair that's really long.
But the hair was coming off to shape a mohawk-esque faux hawk.
I'm nervous. I've always wanted to imitate Naomi Campbell, so I want fierce weave with long and big and huge.
While she longed for Naomi Campbell's long locks, to Stacy Ann's credit, she embraced the look for bringing out her features.
Wow, oh my gosh, that is different.
She did pull off a killer photo.
Maybe if she kicks her legs up?
Yes,
Like that, yeah.
But as you can hear in her tone of voice, overall, she wasn't exactly in love with her new look. Number 16, Sara's Short Cut. Notable for a much more sedate makeover round, Cycle 6 still has one dissatisfied customer. Scouted by a producer while working as a marketing assistant, Modeling was not Sara's plan A, and the judges took to questioning her passion early on.
It's going to be short on the sides and longer on the top. And it's going to be Bridget Nielsen Platinum Blonde.
But she proved them wrong, steadily upping her game and placing 4th. The Makeover episode saw her blonde locks shorn short with a heavier front.
Who is Sara now?
There's a lot edgier than she used to be.
She just did not love her new look, which was definitely out of her comfort zone. Her foray into modeling segued into a very impressive law career. She now works for the US Department of Justice. We won't be going near her with scissors anytime soon.
My boyfriend works for a conservative senator. I guess I'm not going to the Christmas party this year.
Right.
Number 15, Amanda's ice blonde hair. We all know that styling for models can be more strange than glorious. And as you can tell from this list, a good chunk of that trophy can be claimed by this very competition.
Oh my gosh, I am so excited for this new look. I think it's gonna look hot.
When Cycle 3's Amanda Swafford came sashaying into top model town, Tyra just couldn't resist. Her darker locks went full-blown Scandinavian.
I think that my transformation outwardly really did start a transformation on the inside.
The results were definitely striking, and even though her ice-cold blues popped, responses were split.
The girls are starting to feel intimidated by me, and it's really making me feel good as hell.
While she did go on to place as second runner-up, we're still scratching our heads wondering if this fantasy makeover was more glamorous or Gandalf. Number 14, Christina's Green Dip. Less wow and more what, Christina Anderson McDonald's highlighter do left us all wondering what just happened.
Get out of my face and don't speak to me today.
Please shut up.
Coming into the competition as the oldest contestant in her cycle, Christina instantly found life at the shared house with the other models tricky, to say the least.
Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. There's still a group of you versus me.
Yeah, and there's all of them versus every single one of us, too. You're not the only one that is an individual here.
She had beef with Brendy K, and when Tyra told her that she should wear makeup, she took it more to heart than mind.
I feel so punk.
Her makeover, what effectively looked like a dip in green goo, ended up personified in the glower she gave the camera for that week's shoot. Compensation, not so much.
Christina.
Thank you.
The best photo sadly speaks less top model and more green-eyed, haired monster. Number 13, Brendas Buzz Cut. Sometimes you need to make a mistake twice. Flashback to Brenda Arends, a lusciously long redhead from Cycle 14.
My name is Brenda, I'm 23, and I'm from Houston, Texas.
Originally, she seemed game to embrace her makeover moment.
Maybe. You're really gonna shave off my hair?
Maybe. You're a model!
But smiles turned to tears as her hairdresser just kept cutting.
Ooh, when she saw them razors, she was like, oh, but I was like, ooh.
The result? An 80s style mohawk that just didn't suit her. Stylist Sally appeared to come to the rescue at a second session, only to cut shorter, of course. Meanwhile, Brenda's castmates watched in unsupportive silence.
What do you think? Very different.
Following her elimination from the show, Brenda played it real, saying even her first haircut was better than the second. But what was ultimately soul-destroying is Jay Manuel saying he thought she could have gotten further in the competition had she not been so emotionally attached to her hair. Number 12, Anne's chunky highlights.
This picture for me, Anne looks like nothing.
Ouch. Harsh words from Judge Nigel Barker in Cycle 3, but let's rewind a little. What exactly was going on with Anne Markley's highlights? Coming into the show as a sweet brunette, the judges thought she had one of the best faces, but not enough oomph.
Your face, flawless, but the passion behind it, zero.
So someone had the bright idea to switch it up a little.
I'm really excited. I've never been blonde before. I'm interested to see how it'll look. I'm very open-minded about it.
Unfortunately, the results were grossly colored blonde streaks that did nothing for Anne. Or probably not anyone else. Ever. Let's be honest, if it had happened at our salon, we'd be leaving a dangerous Yelp review. Anne went on to finish 4th in her cycle. Number 11, Jade's Pixie Cut.
You said you can cut my hair off, I don't care.
Famous last words of a beautiful model about to lose her locks. And her cool. Cycle 7's Jaeda seemed game to dive into whatever change was coming her way.
This is fun.
That is, until the Halle Berry-inspired pixie cut envisioned for her was revealed, bringing on the waterworks.
Okay, that's good.
While we think Jaeda looked amazing with her new do, she wasn't convinced that her strong jawline could take it. The trauma of the process itself made it one of the worst makeover moments to behold.
Whatever.
I just feel so masculine. I feel like I lost my girlish thing going on.
However, we can confirm that Jaeda's long hair has since returned. She's still modeling and has a gorgeous family to boot. Iconic breakdown aside, it seems like a very happy ending. Number 10. Cassandra Jean's Mia Farrow cut. One of the most iconic haircuts in cinema has to be Mia Farrow's pixie cut from Rosemary's Baby.
Don't tell me you paid for that.
In theory, it was great style to replicate on a model with such a strong bone structure like Cycle 5 contestant Cassandra Jean, but the Southern beauty pageant queen was devastated over losing her long locks.
I can't play with my hair. When I go to brush my teeth and then I look in the mirror, it's not gonna be pretty.
She went along with the cut and the dye job initially, but when they wanted to cut another inch off, she absolutely refused, saying that she didn't want them to change her too much.
So you're not ready to cut your hair?
No.
You know, I really don't have time for this today, so you just gotta leave my set.
It seemed like a weird hill to die on considering most of her hair was gone anyway, but she stuck to her guns and was sent home.
I have to be myself, and I want to walk out of this competition knowing that I did what I think was right in the long run, and that includes not letting people try and change the way I am.
Number 9. Shy's two-toned hair.
I got multiple personalities. Look!
It's probably not the best idea to make someone look like a terrifying cartoon villain, but that's exactly what Tyra did with Shy Fan, a Cycle 21 contestant, who was given two-toned hair, half black and half blonde.
I'm gonna work it.
No one can compare to me now.
Looking like Cruella de Vil herself, Shy's hair seemed like something that would look cool in an Instagram picture, but way too out there in real life. It didn't help that the hairstylist even dyed her eyebrows to match her hair, so it looked as if she only had the black one, since the blonde hairs blended into her skin. Shy was a good sport about it though and seemed to embrace it. Number 8. Laura's Patriotic Makeover.
You're going to have red, white, and blue hair.
Yeah, baby!
Nothing is ever subtle on reality TV, and many times people take things too literally. At least, that's what we assume happened with Cycle 18, British Invasion. In that season, Americans were pitted against the British to see who would reign supreme. To turn up the patriotism, Laura was given red and blue streaks on bleached blonde hair to mimic the American flag. The thought process behind it might have made the tiniest bit of sense, but the chunky streaks looked weird, amateurish, and definitely did not scream top model. Number 7. Marvita's Horsetail Mullet. Poor Marvita did not deserve this. During the Cycle 10 makeovers, Tyra kept the girls in the dark about what makeover they were getting.
Everybody is going to be sitting in a chair, not knowing what the hell is
When Marvita sat down in the hairdresser's chair, she was surprised to see hair extensions nearby.
And I was like, okay, I see some weave. Okay, this must not be my table.
Only then did Tyra reveal in a pre-taped segment that she would be getting a horse mane hair weave, a style Tyra admitted to making up. Tyra even neighed when she gleefully revealed Marvita's makeover inspiration.
like a horse. So she's gonna be like,
The result was less of a horse mane and more of an 80s hairband mullet. It looked ridiculous, and not even Marvita's strong features could pull it off. Number 6. Phil's Jesus extensions. When ANTM let men into the contest, it was exciting to see what makeovers they'd give the guys. But then Phil happened and proved they could make a man look just as awful as they do for some of the women.
I can't eat and watch Phil, like his hair was completely awful.
Tyra wanted to see longer hair on Phil, so he was given very cheap-looking extensions that had people comparing him to Jesus.
They decided they would add hair and go with the Jesus look. Not good. I am not feeling good about my makeover halfway through.
The straggly hair was distracting and took away from his good looks. Phil looked more like a Coachella punchline than a model, so we're glad he later took out the extensions and grew his natural hair out. Number 5. Celicias Mushroom Bob.
high fashion's not gonna come to you. You have to come to high fashion.
Cycle 9 contestant Celicia Stowers is already one of the most controversial ANTM winners out there because of her previous connection to Tyra before the season started. But the real question is, how did someone with Dora the Explorer hair make it that far? Celicias Mushroom Bob and glorified bowl cut was meant to give the commercial model an edgier look, but instead it made her appear younger, as if her mom had given her the haircut in the kitchen. Many compared her to the Beatles gone wrong, and any way you cut it, it was bad. Just bad.
It's gonna take some getting used to, but it really changed my look. Like, I'm not your average girl next door.
Number 4, Molly's giant blonde weave. There have been some pretty harrowing weave experiences on ANTM, but few, if any, compare to Molly's unbelievably bad hairdo.
So it'll be new, but I think I can work it.
After assigning big blonde curls to Molly, a weave specialist was brought in to sew it onto her fine hair.
I'm trying to think of how we could style this some sort of way for the picture and then correct it after.
The process of getting her hair done was a tangle of braids, thread, and extensions that looked more akin to a bird's nest than a high fashion look, and the finished product was not any better. The added hair had to weigh as much as Molly herself. The salon owner tried to trim it down, but it was no use. Molly was understandably upset, and the hair led to a lot of drama until it was redone.
Love the idea of the huge blonde hair, but it looks horrible, so I'm not happy with it whatsoever.
Number 3, Denzel's fake beard. For the most part, the male contestants get pretty tame looks compared to the female contestants, but Denzel's fake beard made every other makeover pale in comparison.
Let's see how this one looks.
They put a lace front weave on this man's face. A lace front weave. Just let that sink in.
It's a lace front. They put a lace front on my face.
No, you didn't say lace front.
The weave was a completely different texture from his natural hair, and the contrast showed.
I'm loving myself with the beard. Like, I like the look.
It looked wholly unnatural, ridiculous, and like it would fall off at any moment. The makeover was roasted on social media and still lives on in internet infamy. Number 2, Brittanys red clown weave. Unfair or not, big red hair often brings up associations with clown hair. Clearly, Tyra was not trying to channel Bozo the Clown for Brittany Hatch's makeover, but that's exactly what she got.
Try and hang in there.
Britney's original hairdo of short curls looked way more model-esque than the pile of red straw they attached to her head. The hair was brittle-looking, frizzy, and puffy, and it clearly looked like a weave, which defeats the purpose of getting the hairstyle professionally done.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, Chelsea's widened tooth gap. For the most part, the makeovers they give contestants are not permanent. Hair grows back, a weave can be taken out, and eyebrows can be dyed back. But the makeover team crossed that line when Tyra decided that the gap between Chelsea's 2 front teeth needed to be made bigger so that she had more of a Lauren Hutton look. To emulate the legendary model, Chelsea was taken to a dentist where they actually shaved around 1 millimeter off each front tooth. While we like the idea of accentuating someone's unique trait, this was a bridge too far.
Competition's so big and intense and the stakes are so high that I take it really seriously.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.